I'm going to address a comment here from the Nextdoor site. And the commenter is irrelevant. There's thousands of you out there, literally, that are saying the same thing. And on that note of the commenter being irrelevant, if I would have filed the ethics complaint anonymously, it would have said the same thing. Either the points are valid or not. Either the law is on the side of the complaint or not. It doesn't matter who the messenger is. A lot of you say over and over, look at the source, but the source is irrelevant. You could have saw it on a sign. You could have heard it on the radio. You could have seen it on a TikTok video from someone anonymous. It's absolutely irrelevant who wrote that report. But because you all hate me, because of the Julie Jamon thing, the Michael Almain thing, whatever, you want everybody to look at the source. But say I was convicted of a crime, like say 20 of them, and I spent a decade in prison. How does that change whether or not David Faber's guilty? Can't we both be scoundrels? I mean, it has no bearing on it, and it affects you guys, okay? You're all going to pay for a county tax for a pool. You're all part of, what's going on in Port Townsend way more than me. I'm giving voice to victims. I'm not a victim in this scenario. I come over here to the Nextdoor page to point out to you guys yet again that your lynch mob tactics hurt people, harm people, jail people, and kill people. It's happened many times. Driven some homeless folks that I knew, a couple of them to suicide. Another guy, I talked out of it 3 times. And you guys erased his side of the story, and you stuck up for the lie. And when I come in and posted the truth to defend this man I didn't even know, you removed me too, and then you demonized, defamed, and targeted and lynched me. You did the same thing to Julie Jamon. So I'm not here about me. Okay, I don't want to be friends with anybody here. I don't have nothing to prove to you folks. I see who you are. And then those of you who have been nice, I don't expect nice, I'm not looking for friends, but, that shows some sign of free thinking and neutrality. Yeah, if you see me, say hello. But the rest of you, you're not a part of my life. What I'm pointing out is please stop. It's been 5 years. Please stop. You're killing people. You're driving people to suicide. You're hurting people. Your lynch mob against Julie Jamon, you don't know her. You didn't look into the facts of what really happened that night. You don't know what our experience was. You don't know what happened to Michael Almain. If you're interested, Michael Almain case, chronology.blogspot.com. But y'all lynched him and removed his side of the story. When I stuck up for Julie Jamon over here, when you're all lynching her, you just deleted and removed and banned me. So I'm not here as a victim for myself. I'm not here to make friends or get you guys to like me or validate my reality or my lived experience or my truth. I'm solid in that. So I'm going to read you this comment. Are you ready? Again, the commenter is irrelevant, regardless of what you rabid lynch mobbers say. I would like to see posted here for all to see the outcome of the case she says she won. Okay. It's none of your goddamn business. My case is irrelevant. Okay. My case has nothing to do with you. I have nothing to prove to you. It's almost like they're saying, if I prove that I won my case, then I'm a living, breathing human being. And, I deserve some respect, or not to be, with Michael Almain, they were even saying, drag him from the car, because of a lie. And I showed the court documents for the proof. They didn't care. So I don't need to prove to you that I won my case or lost my case. I don't need to prove to you that I went to prison or didn't go to prison. I don't need to prove to you anything about my spirituality or, quantum or interdimensional or psychic or anything that I am. I don't need to prove to you. I'm not here to prove myself to you. I'm here about the Nextdoor lynch mob to show you that what you do is hurting people. To stop. If you don't know the facts, don't jump in with the lie. Don't just attack the messenger. Look into the facts because you're hurting people and you're killing people. And I'm not saying you're hurting me. Please stop. I don't give a fuck about any of you. And I don't care how you take that, okay? Those over there that were nice, that's great. And I appreciate you and thank you. But you guys that have hated me, hate me, for standing up for people, for telling the truth, for standing up for you, for talking about the mayor, just because of what you think my life is, because you're lazy and ignorant. I don't want you in my life. I'm not trying to convince you to be my friend and like me so you'll believe me. I don't need to be believed. You're not the jury in this process. Okay, this is going to go through the legal process. I don't need you to side with me. I don't need you to believe me. I commented on that post because I wanted to point out that you do this to people and you hurt people. And it's not okay. I would like to see the posted of the outcase case. She says she won. Okay, so first of all, what does this mean? Do the people who go to the Nextdoor site only have access to the Nextdoor site? Do they have access to anything else on the internet? Now, if someone posts an article on the Nextdoor site about me from the New York Times or from, Rushy Law, then they see it on the Nextdoor site, then they can go there, but they can't go to anything else by themselves. They need me to prove who I am so that what? What's my big reward? You'll stop hating me? I don't care if you hate me. Okay, if you see me in the street, don't talk to me. Some of y'all hit on me. Don't hit on me. Don't talk to me. Don't email me. Hey, how you doing? You're my buddy. Well, when you find out that I'm the good guy, don't come and go, I don't want nothing to do with you, okay? One of you did email me and apologize to me. I appreciate that very much. Okay, because this person woke up and went, what's the wrong facts there? Okay, so you're willing to believe a New York Times reporter. So they linked to the David Carr article. You're willing to believe whatever he says is fact without doing any homework. Maybe you trust the New York Times. You don't care about the source, okay? He's a cokehead. He's hurt people. He's had bad history. He ended up dying of a coke overdose on the New York Times floor after that. You don't know anything about the source or him or the involvement, okay? My case stopped the monopoly that big media had on free speech. My case took down the power of the New York Times, the LA Times, and every other newspaper in the whole freaking world. A lot of the world used my case precedents, but especially in the United States. So they needed to do a hit piece against me, okay? I had threats, I had car bombs, I had offers of settlements over and over. I was stalked, I was sued, I was bullied, my right to appeal was stolen because they did not want, big media didn't want me to go forward and win because then they lose their monopoly on free speech. I was the first person to get a precedent in the higher court in that situation. Most people took settlements. I didn't take any. And flat out told him, I don't care if you give me $1 million. I don't want out of the $2.5 million judgment. I don't care. I want the Ninth Circuit ruling for all citizen journalists, all investigative bloggers, all industry whistleblowers, all victims out there that don't have a voice. I wanted the precedent for them. So the New York Times was the enemy, okay? And they didn't want me to go forward. They wanted to stop my case. The lower court ruling was good for them, right? Because, now Mark Randazzo was my attorney. I fired him because Mark Randazzo represented the porn industry. Now, the porn industry needs First Amendment rights online bigger than anybody, especially bigger than anybody back in the day, because they do parody porn. They do all kinds of things, and that's how they avoid copyright stuff. If my case went to the ninth and I lost, the porn industry would be fucked. They would lose all their First Amendment rights because if I don't have rights, what the judge was saying about me as a blogger, they lose their rights. So they come in to shut me down. So Mark Randazza, I said yes to working with him, but at that time I was working with Mark Randazza and UCLA law professor Eugene Volokh. And all of this is out there for anybody who wanted to look. But anyway, Mark Randazza, I had a big conversation with him. I told him what I wanted to do and my activist litigant goals. And he didn't care. He wanted to do what the porn industry wanted. So he went to the opposition and made a deal to settle. And I found out about it and I fired him. So he got big mad. He sued me. His wife sued me. He went on NPR. He went on Forbes. He went everywhere and defamed me. He worked with the opposition in the very Ninth Circuit case he was in as my attorney. I sued him for malpractice defamation. He went bankrupt to avoid it. Then he sued me, got a huge default judgment. There's a lot to it, if you wanted to know. Okay, so Mark Randazza works with a guy named Jordan Rushy. I'll post more about it, but that's Rushy Law. That's the one that wrote Anatomy of a Scammer. They had thousands of hate blogs about me. Now there's only a couple, but if you look into, well, who's the author of that? What's their motive? How are they connected to the case? But no, you're like, nope, that's a law firm. They say she's got 3 heads, so she does. So you were willing to believe those 2 authors without checking the source of who they were, but not me with your own town, and where you could go, oh, Secretary of State site, does that happen? Oh, does this property there? Is this tax? Okay, let's look up some case law. Let's look. If you don't want to look any of that up, just shut the fuck up, right? But you come in and you trusted them and what they said about me, but you didn't trust what I said. And again, I'm not here to be trusted. I know what I say is true. And if I get something wrong, I change it best I can, or, I'm doing good work and I'm not doing it for myself and I have no personal gain. This is my spiritual mission. And I'm not trying to convince you to like me. I mean, I don't even get the thinking of, I'd like to see posted here, she says she won her case, okay? What case? Obsidian Finance versus Cox. I mean, did you read the articles and go and Google stuff to research it? Because if you mean the Obsidian Finance Group versus Crystal Cox, I went by investigative blogger Crystal Cox at the time. Yeah, I won my appeal. And it was a landmark case. And I gave up everything I knew to be my life for it. And I got sued and stalked to this day by the attorneys involved through Mark Randazza and Jordan Rushy Law and that Anatomy of a Scammer author. Okay, they're gang stalking attorneys. So if you mean that case, you'd like to see documents posted here. Well, Google it. Obsidian versus Cox. Google attorneys on it, First Amendment law cases. You could find a ton of good information about my case, but you instead wanted to believe the negative because that's part of the hive mind. That's part of the, we hate Julie, we hate Michael, and we hate who we hate, and we're not going to look, right? So why do I have to prove to you who I am? I have nothing to prove to you. You can go on Google and you can find out some more information about me besides just what the hive mind is saying. Okay, I recently, even in last March, I did a big video of the whole backstory of Mark Randazza and Obsidian, and easy to find, right? I've had Port Townsend News channel for nearly 12 years now on Facebook. I don't have to prove to you that I won my case. And if I prove I won my case, then you'll like me? Or then maybe what I'm saying about Faber is true? It's fucking true. Okay, whether or not it's an ethics violation and goes through the process or not, okay. But the points are true. And I don't have to prove that to anybody. Okay, the outcome is the outcome. I'm not attached to the outcome. I trust the Great Spirit, I'm doing it to stand up for the victims of this lynch mob and this government and Faber and all of his gang stalking buddies that hurt vulnerable people, that beat elderly women in the streets to shut them up. Okay, they're rabid and they're hurtful and they're harming people, and I'm standing up for those victims. I'm not looking for friends. I'm not looking to be liked or validated. I got me. I know who I am. I know my God. I know my truth. I am just shocked that someone would think that I need to prove to you who I am. If you want to know who I am, why can't you research it? Why do you need me to spoon feed you stuff about me so you'll like me, or so that you'll see me as a living, breathing human being? Do or don't. But I'm pointing out to you what you guys do and what you've done for years. Because you're too damn dumb to go look stuff up. You just take what's fed to you, go, oh, she bad, she convicted of this, she convicted of that, she convicted of this. Okay. So now, if it means, I would like to see posted here for all to see the outcome of the case she says she won. Okay, if this person means, and all of you out there believe it's the same, my criminal extortion case, well, that doesn't exist. Okay, those were allegations by the New York Times, by my own attorney, that I had committed extortion. They posted an email that was 1 out of 15 in a settlement negotiation, where I was my own attorney in pro se, and it was against the rules of evidence. I sued him. I couldn't do nothing to stop it. I wasn't big enough, okay? Now, I was in the AP press. I was in every newspaper in the world. The reason I didn't go viral here in Port Townsend is interesting because it was a typo. They spelled Port Townsend wrong, so it didn't come up on any of the searches for the news here. But I lived here at that time that I won, January 2020, 2014. We're not in 1980 anymore. Anyway, so if you want me to prove to you that I won my case of extortion or my convicted swindling or my convicted scammer case, that case doesn't exist. I was never charged with extortion or scamming or any criminal charges. I had no FBI investigation. I had no local, federal, or state investigation. I had no charges. I had no Better Business Bureau claims. I had no criminal complaints anywhere. It never got adjudicated in any way. A New York Times reporter just accused me of extortion, and so did the Mark Randazza legal group associated attorney that's the Anatomy of a Scammer one. Okay, there is no criminal case. So if you want me to prove that I won my criminal case, just so you can say, well, we'll believe she's not a scammer and extortionist as soon as we see if she won her case. Well, there's no fucking case. It doesn't exist. My civil case was Obsidian Finance Group versus Cox, and they just threw in all that other stuff, okay? So I would like to see posted here for all to see the outcome of the case she says she won. Again, it stuns me because it's not my job for what you believe. I don't care. I posted the facts, a few facts, just like I did in the Jamon thing, like I tried to do in the Allman case, and you guys can take it or leave it. Okay, what you love to do is lynch mob people and hurt people and shut people up and silence people. You don't care about the truth and you don't care about living, breathing human beings. I'm giving a voice and a face to that, not to make friends or for you to believe me, but in hopes that you will stop hurting people. Okay, in hopes that you'll go, that there's 100 of my friends on here saying that guy drug his dog in the car, and you'll go, but did he? There's 100 people here saying he abused his dog, so they took the dog, and we love CVAR, and we love the prosecutor, and we love, but did he? Just because all the prominent people say he did doesn't mean he did. Okay? He was literally set up by every agency in town because of their emotional hive mind sick bond and their love for Cinderella Animal Rescue, who has dozens and dozens and dozens of victims. So I'm telling you this story to give you a voice out there, victims, and to show you what it is you do. Okay? I don't have nothing to prove to you. I know who I am. I know my God. I know the Great Spirit. I know Goddess. Great relationship with Jesus and Mother Earth. And I do this because this is my calling. To stand up for an 80-year-old woman that y'all lynched is my calling. To stand up for a homeless man that y'all lynched that didn't want to live is my calling. Individual rights, individual people, not group rights, not group think. Okay, so anybody out there thinking, well, if she posts the truth, then I'll be like, okay, I'll take her serious. I'll be okay. I'll stop calling the paper and complaining about her, and I'll look at that complaint. Look at the complaint. Don't look at the complaint. Okay, I could have wrote it anonymous. I'm irrelevant. I just hope you learn some things and that you don't hurt anybody else. But as far as I don't want to be friends with any of you. Anybody over there that made negative comments, don't say hi to me in the street. Don't try to talk to me. I don't want nothing to do with you. Okay? The fact that you're willing to do that to people and hurt them that bad and not see them as living, breathing human beings or do any homework other than what's fed to you because the abuser, sick king over there at Lynchmob next door, that Tom Christopher, these people hurt people, okay? He was friends with Julie St. Marie, and Julie St. Marie nearly killed Michael Almain, and it's not okay, all right? So you guys need to check yourself, and if you don't, fine. I'm going to stand up for the victim, and I'm going to expose you, but I'm not looking for you to like me, validate me, or believe me, and I certainly do not want to be your friend. Okay, bye for now.